Well, hello. I hope you guys had a good July 4th. And I'm probably sure not many people are going to join me today, but you can watch this later. And today's a heavy topic, so I'm going to dive right in. Um, it's about having toxic families and families that are not supporting you during your divorce. And I put in the subject line or in our topic line saying, in fact, they're borderline toxic. And well, what I want to do is tell you that, you know what? Toxic parent relationships are pretty common and they're not often talked about. And they're not talked about because honestly, I feel a little embarrassed to talk about them to my friends or, support system, because if they have not been in a toxic relationship with their family, especially their parents, they really have a hard time believing us because it, it seems like absurd because it's like, you must be blowing this out of proportion. Your mom wouldn't do that, or your dad. And I feel like they might judge us, but it's only because they've never experienced it. And so we keep it in, we keep it down. Oh, hi Randy, hi Matthew. And so we keep it down and we don't discuss it because we're embarrassed or we're ashamed or we feel like we should be handling it better than we are. And that's not true. Please understand that we are doing the best we can, and there are other people going through exactly what we're going through, and we're not alone, and it's not us. It's not us, okay? So what I want to do is go through what are some traits of a toxic family, and this is what I came up with. They gossip about you to your siblings, your other family members. So they don't, lift you up or talk good about you. They gossip. So it only makes it worse, right? They tear you down verbally. They kick you when you're down and discouraged. I have that one's harder for me to deal with because that's when you need them the most. And that's when they're going to be at their worst. They blame you. It's all about them. It's all about them and their needs. They belittle you. They create a false sense of security so that you share your inner thoughts and your feelings. And then when you're going through your own crisis, they throw those back in your face when you least expect it, and they use them against you. I've had that done several times to me. That's when I work on every day to make sure I know who I'm talking to. They create drama. Sometimes I think they don't even know how to live without, like if they don't have drama, if everything's going well in their life, they don't know how to function. They control you with money, housing, childcare, so you don't stick up for yourself. So you might work for them. You might get some sort of any type of money, any type of if you're dependent on them in any way, they will use that against you. During a divorce, they notice the attention isn't on them, so they create drama. I have friends who have stories that are horrible about this. They communicate poorly and usually use a technique called gaslighting. And if you don't know what gaslighting is, that is where, a simple example would be, we're going to meet at the park at 2:00. And you come at 2:00 and they said, no, we told you 4:00. You don't remember that? We did that, and so it makes you doubt yourself. They put you down because they know they're the only ones that can bring you up. And that is true. So they keep putting you down because all you want is to please them and for them to love you. Okay, so what's the cost of that for having a toxic family? Well, it influences us in our lives in every way. We don't get the job that we want. We're in unhealthy relationships. We experience turmoil in our relationships. We constantly feel like we owe something to someone while stuffing all of our feelings inside. And then how we parent our own children. So why? Why do we keep going back? Why do we let them in our lives? What do we want? And it all comes down to this, it really does. We want their love. We did not get it as a child, and we're still wanting it. And we're hoping, we keep thinking that they will love us at some point, that we will please them, that we will make them proud. but that will never happen. Okay? So about 20 years ago, I went to counseling for this. I went through all of this that I'm talking about. And when I finally came to the conclusion that I will never please them, I will never give them, they'll never give me the love that I want. I felt so free. I felt so free. And I watched my siblings go through it, and they're not free. And I watch them in pain, and I'm going, oh my gosh, if you only, all you have to do, and this sounds totally easy, but it's not, is let go of wanting their love. It will free your heart in so many ways. So, what do you do? Okay, in order to start this process and in order to heal, this is what you need to do. The first thing you need to do is you minimize the control that they have over you. Okay, childcare, money, housing, work, you need to minimize that. Uh-oh, I'm sorry, I have neighbors. And so, so any control that they have, now that might be hard right now because during this time, I might have to go inside. Sorry, you guys. During this time, it's the hardest because if you're going through a divorce and you're relying on them for any way at all, then you can't let go. And that is understandable because this is not the time, but have that in your plan. Plan for that. That's not your future. You have a plan and go, you know what? I don't have to work for them forever. I can get a different job, and this is my plan to get a different job. So start setting into motion the plan to get out from under them. Get a good therapist. If you're LDS, your bishop might pay for a therapist. You can go to betterhelp.com. They're very affordable. You can also, sorry you guys, you can, so betterhelp.com also is very affordable and it's online. So that's one. And then if you have any other resources, utilize those. Consider exploring medication that may help. I am not advocating for you to go get on any type of pills or anything, but sometimes medication may help, like if you're depressed and you need to get through this. Limit your interactions as much as possible with them. I did this. I cut everyone off. I was in a place where I could, and hi Ruth, and they did not like it one bit. They were so upset. It took them 2 months. 2 months they were talking to each other, and they were calling me and saying horrible things and how dare you, cut us all off. And it'll get very ugly. It is like, so have you ever heard of the analogy, some families are like crabs and some families are like birds? So if you put a bunch of crabs in a bucket, when one crab tries to escape, the others pull them back. Okay, they don't want them to escape. Birds, they fly in a V shape, and then the lead bird, when they get tired, the other bird replaces them, and they help each other, and they keep replacing, when one gets tired, they replace. And so when you are in a family of crabs, they don't want you to escape. Families should be like birds, okay? Come to the support groups, please. Most of us are going through the same thing. We can support each other. That will help you. And then so there's 2 types of pain, and I talked about this in one of the support groups. There's pain in being stuck, and there's pain in transforming. So it's gonna be painful no matter what. You're gonna have pain being in this toxic, horrible relationship, or you're gonna have pain in cutting it off and transforming. Both are painful. You might as well choose the one that's gonna make you a better person, that's gonna change you and make your life better. You might as well do that. If you've got pain either way, choose the one that's going to be better in the long run. I liked this quote. It says, when people get stuck, it's rarely because they don't know enough. It's because they lack the ability to act on what they already know. We know we need to get out. It's how to do it, and it's having the right plan. It's having the support you need while you're doing it. Sorry. I kept coming across saying we must find the love we're looking for from within. instead of looking for it from other people. And I thought, how do you find that? I mean, let's dive into that. Let's really, what does that mean? And this is what I think it means. When I start going through changes, when I'm trying to change anything in my life, there's that awful voice of self-doubt that keeps coming up, and it keeps saying, oh, you're not worthy, or you're not worthy, you're worthless, you're never going to get someone, you're ugly, you're all these horrible thoughts. And so my goal is to get rid of those. It's that horrible inner voice. And I think that's what we probably heard as children. I have no idea. I was told as a child, I am not smart. And then when I got to be 18, I actually had a plan for college, which, oh my gosh, do you know how many kids don't have a plan? I would die if my kids came to me and said, this is my plan. So I came to my mom and said, this is my plan. And she said, I'm sorry, honey, you're not smart enough for college. So I think we've been told these things. That's what I actually remember. I did go to the U, by the way, and I got in, and I had a 3.8 GPA. So anyway, but those inner voices of self-doubt, that is when you say heal from within, I think that's what they mean. I think that's what it is. Tell me if you think differently. I'm sure there's more, but if we can just stop saying these horrible things to ourselves and change that, we can get out of these toxic, vicious chains and circles and cycles. Okay, so we want to create new boundaries with our parents. Okay, our goal here is make sure to honor yourself first, you and your needs. You are first, okay? That's your goal. Now, while you're creating the boundaries, this is, you need to kind of think, well, what boundaries do I need? One of mine was they were not allowed to gossip about my siblings or family members. Have you ever noticed anywhere, in a workplace, at home, wherever, the person that has the control is the person who is pretty much gossiping about everybody. They gossip horrible because you don't want them to gossip about you, right? So they say all these things and they have everyone. And so then if you have a problem with one of those people, you usually come to them, right? That's how it works. They have the control, so they make or break whether everyone gets along or doesn't. And that's, if this is someone in your workplace and you are a manager, you need to get rid of that person, okay? And if you're in a family, that's the person that you need to put on break, okay? I do not borrow money from them. I don't want them to have any control over me. I always remember who I'm talking to. That false sense of security, so easy for me to get back into. And it could take, I'll talk and it's like, okay, a year's gone by, everything's good. But then they remind me, okay, yep, I trusted too much, I shared too much, I opened myself up too much. You always have to remember, they're looking out for you, but they don't know how to do it in a healthy way. And so they're going to, I guess, vomit their anger on you in unhealthy ways. I remind myself that she will never change. None of this time will be different. I do not go, this time is different. This time is different. I used to do that, but I do not do that anymore, okay? I think this is even more hard for single parents because we need our family. We have lost our family that we were married into, and now now we're stuck with a toxic family that was not good for us in the first place. And so I thought, where do you go for support? Here's two things. One, it is better to sit home alone on July 4th. I know July 4th might have been hard for some people. It was hard for me half of the day, but it is better to be alone than to go and be part of a toxic family. So much better, okay? We might not think it. Get a book, get a movie, do something. It's so much better, okay? And it's not awful to be alone, okay? Find your support system. Come to the support groups. Find friends that have been through this. Friends are your support. My friends meant the world to me. My friends growing up, that's who I could trust. Friends, for me, I have one cousin. No, I have three. But I'm only close to one. Everyone here has all these cousins. Everyone here has usually a good support system, and I'm jealous of that. But I'm not going to be bitter about that. Instead, how can I help myself, and how can I Find others who are like me, going through the same thing, and support each other. That's who your support system is. We've all had stuff that's happened to us, and we can make it through this. If they ever cross that boundary line, which they do. So I put the boundary line out there and they've crossed it. I have this thing, and I don't know if I want to tell you because a lot of people hold it against me. I will put my family members on break. So they're your family. You're going to talk to them. You're not going to I'm never going to talk to you again. It's not going to happen. Okay. But I can put them on break. And I don't try to talk to them. I don't try to go, hey, you crossed a boundary and blah, 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 because they're not going to listen. Actions speak louder than words. I go, you know what? You've done this. I'm done. And then they're on break. And my breaks can go for like a year or two. And break means I don't talk to you. I don't talk to you at all. I cut it all off. I cut off all communication. I will still send a birthday card and a Christmas card and maybe one of those gifts. And I still send my mom a Mother's Day card. But I do not talk to them because I have to heal and I don't trust them. And I am first, not them. So I will do that. What do you want from your life? What do you want? What do you want in 5 years? That's to visualize that. That helps you maintain your boundaries, maintain your goals, okay? And the only way that you can get to the life that you really want is by setting these boundaries. And a lot of people say, well, I don't want to come across as that, or I feel guilty, it's my parents or it's my siblings, and I feel like I owe them something. You do not. You're an adult. And you don't have to be mean about it. You don't have to say I hate you or anything like that, but you do have to be firm because they are going to push back like you wouldn't believe. And you have to hold tough. That's the hardest part. This was a pretty heavy subject. I'm thinking about sharing something, and I think I will. So my father, I don't know him 100, very well, but he chose when I was a kid to end his life. And in his letter, he wrote in there, I hope the money that you get from my death makes you more happy than the life that I lived with you. Talk about, in my opinion, that was very selfish to children. So they will go to any length to make you feel guilty. This is from a dying man to his children. And so there's nothing, you have to stop being surprised. I'll share other stuff later, but you just have to stop being surprised and just expect it. And that's tough. And stop those negative thoughts that are in your head. Stop those. We can break this chain. You can do it. We all can do it. It's hard, but we can do it. And we're going to, like I said, we'll have pain no matter what. We might as well choose the one that makes us a better person, right? Okay, so that was a heavy topic for today. I actually pre-recorded this, and I'm hoping to make it so you can just listen to it, the audio. I'll post that if I can. So coming up, we have groups coming up this week. Okay, so Tuesday in Bountiful, 5:30 to 6:30, women only. 6:30 to 8 is the men can join, and it's about dating. So dating 101. And in South Jordan, it's Thursday, same thing, 5:30 to 6:30, women only. 6:30 to 8, men can join, and I'll talk about dating, and that's at 6:30 is when I'll start talking about the topic. I've decided that Divorced in Utah is going to be known for groups, so we'll be doing support groups, empowerment groups, and dating groups. So I'm going to be launching dating groups. People have always asked me for dating groups. I'll probably talk about this week. You really need to be ready to date, because if you have a heavy heart and you're going through a bunch of stuff, you cannot handle this, because dating is not for the weak. I'll say weak, but you have to, if you think you've seen it all, think again, okay? So if you're interested in the dating groups, go to my website, divorcedinutah.com, click on dating groups, and fill out that form, because I'm only going to send the information to the people that have signed up for the dating groups. I will charge, because I'm not going to, I'm now brainstorming with a bunch of different people on ways to make it different. If you could share with me things you would like to see, maybe not what you'd like to see, what your challenges are in the dating world, because that's what I'm trying to solve. Okay, online dating, especially after what happened with that girl and stuff, it's so risky, and I don't know if it's worked for everyone. It never worked for me. But if you want to share with me, you can personal message me of what your challenges are, because what I'm trying to do is something different. I want to do something different, and I'm trying to figure out what that is that would meet everyone's needs and at least get you some hopeful, I want to say leads, but hopeful, maybe matches that would work for you. So please go to the website, fill that form out if you're interested in the dating groups that I'll launch in the fall, and then the empowerment groups, I'm going to start working on those as well. So, all right, you guys, thanks for being with me for this pretty heavy topic, and I would love to dive into this even more, and because this is just a tiny little, we've just put our feet in the water with this, our toes in the water, and I hope you guys have a great weekend, and I will see you next week. Thanks, bye for now.